It's been 7 or 8 months since I've just kind of come on here and talked about music, I think. So I just kind of want to take a moment and just kind of talk about what's going on in music currently. I'm sure you guys have heard of both Nettspend and Osamason. They're both very popular artists that are coming out of the underground scene. And a lot of things have been happening recently. I think the two of them split up and are no longer friends anymore. Nettspend's taking forever to drop music. Osamason's getting all of his old TikToks and fucking... It's like... all of his songs were leaked. And a lot of people have been throwing around the question of how much longer is this going to last? How much longer are we going to be hearing about Nettspend and Osamason? What if he never drops Badass Fucking Kid? What if he never hits that mainstream spotlight? What if Osamason never drops another tape? What if he never hits the mainstream spotlight? I'm going to be honest. I see them hitting mainstream, but I don't see them staying in that spotlight. I don't see them being that kind of... I don't see them being like a Lil Baby or a Lil Durk or like... that kind of rapper where it's like they're so big and always popular and they're going to be around for a long time. But like, that's okay. People forget about that. You don't have to be Lil Baby. You don't have to be Lil Durk. You don't have to be Lil Tecca. I'm trying to think of a rapper that doesn't start with Little. You don't got to be Drake. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be the biggest artist all the time, constantly in the spotlight. You can be like a 404 Vincent, or a Young Pinch, a Famous Dex, a Xavier Weeks, a Made in Tokyo. Hell, even Lil Skies. You can be an artist that doesn't stay in the mainstream spotlight forever. You don't have to be the best artist of all time, and you don't have to be around or relevant for a long time. And this isn't to say anything bad about those mentioned artists' music, you just gotta hear me out. You will always see comments in artists like that, or just any artist when their numbers aren't performing up to what they used to be. Oh, bro fell off. Bro fell off so hard. People worry more about the relevancy and how long you can make a career out of this than the actual stuff that you do with your career. Both the people that are on the listening side and the people that are on the creating side. Once again, not dissing the aforementioned artist music because they make great music. But I think people will realize that it's better to look back on the time that artists were in the spotlight and be like, wow, they dropped great albums. Lil Skies dropped Shelby, Life of a Dark Rose. Young Pinch dropped 7-1 Forever. Back to the Beach, Forever Heartbroken, Forever Friday. 404 Vincent dropped banger after banger. Arizona Zervis dropped banger after banger. Made in Tokyo still makes good music. Famous Dex still makes good music. And you cannot be relevant now and still make great music. Young Pinch still makes great music. Letters to the West was amazing. The most recent stuff I've heard from artists that have, and I quote, fallen off, is still relatively good. But wrapping my point back up, and I hope that I explained it good, because I definitely spent way too long just fucking blabbermouthing about it, is people are so worried about Osamason and Nettspend and how long they're going to last, how long their career is going to be, how long are they going to be in the mainstream, if they're going to hit mainstream. And while, you can ponder about that, I guess, I think what's more important is what they do with the time they have on this main stage, with the connections they've developed now and the kind of audience that they have, what they do, the kind of moment they create. Because when you look back on those albums, like, for instance, when Juice WRLD dropped Goodbye and Good Riddance, if that album made me happy, not because Juice WRLD had 1 million monthly listeners and he was on Lyrical Lemonade. The album made me happy because the music was good and the moment was amazing. You see the first ever sold out show that he did where he called his mom. It was the moment, not the relevancy, that mattered. And what I think people need to know is that it's not about how you can make your 15 minutes of fame longer than 15 minutes. It's about what you do with those 15 minutes of fame. Because I assure you, when I'm old and I have dementia, and every time I get up to go do something, my grandkids are like, uh-oh, Grandpa's on the move again. The last thought that's going through my brain is, I'm so glad Nettspend and Osamason had above 500K monthly listeners for 8 years. That just tickles my fucking pickle, dude. It's not going to be on my brain. But the music and the vibe and how it made me feel is going to stay, I promise you. Grandpa, wake up. You soiled the bedpan again. It looks like a fucking Betty Crocker's chocolate cake now. Grandpa, wake up. There's shit everywhere, Grandpa. What the fuck is your problem? Long story short, do I see Nettspend and Osamason being the biggest artists of all time? Do I see them being relevant for a decade? No. I see them getting a good couple years out of their career, though. And I think that whatever they do with their career is what's important, as opposed to their relevancy. I hope that they get back together, because they make good music together. Withdrawals was amazing. I hope that song's playing on the classics radio at the doctor's office when I have to get my mandatory colonoscopy at 50. I hope that with whatever time they have in the spotlight, They create a moment. It doesn't have to be Land in Cuban Skies. It doesn't have to be what X created. It doesn't have to be the vibe that certain albums from certain years have given off. You don't hear much about Slump and SGP West anymore, but they still make good music. And the moment they created back then, especially with the other artists, Only Bino, Chulo, all of those artists, great artists by the way, it's about a moment. And I don't mean to sound sappy or like a motivational Tumblr post, but I think that is far more important than how long you're in the spotlight, is what you do at that time in the spotlight. Create a moment. Anyways, I hope that if you watched all the way to the end of the video that you enjoyed it, because it would be really weird if you listened to me blabber about shit for that long and just fucking hated it. But maybe if you guys agree with my opinion, if not, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. I'd like to have a conversation with some of you guys. In fact, I'm very active on my Twitter, and you guys can tweet me there. That was a fucking horrible sentence that came out of my mouth. You guys could @ me, and I'd be happy to engage in a discussion with you guys. You guys could probably DM me. I think my DMs are open. And I'd love to hear from you guys. I love talking about music. I love hearing what other people think about music. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please feel free to like and subscribe, and share this video with a friend, because if you enjoyed, they might also. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. When I hit 10K, I think I'm making an Instagram. So I'll make that an official goal. But yeah, without further ado, be good people, and peace out.
I can't say how I feel, they gon' kill me now. For a couple thousand, I could get you flipped around. I'm on 2 tabs, bitch, I'm